Today we will see RESTful web service, and as you know that RESTful means this is a representational styles. This is just a representational style, and in this REST, basically REST supports many format like JSON, XML, text, image, HTML, but it only supports two protocols, that is HTTP and HTTPS. So we will see how we can create REST web service quickly. What we will do, we will write here a Spring. So we will do using a Spring. We have many ways to create REST service. We can use Jersey framework as well, but and similarly we have more frameworks, but what we will do right now, we will use a Spring framework so that quickly we can start and we can create a project. So we will write here a Spring starter. We will write a Spring starter or a Spring Initializr, and here you will get first link. Click here, a Spring start.spring.io, and here what we have to do, we can mention our requirement, that is we need Maven project, Java, then 2.26. as you can see, these are the snapshots. So this is basically not a stable version, so we can use 2.26 a Spring Boot. This is a stable version, and then we have to give here project description. We'll put here metadata, that is, let's say I'm writing here com dot employee dot service. Okay, let's say this is our metadata, and then artifact name, that means our project name kind of. So I can write employee service. Okay, so employee service is basically our project name, and you can leave rest of the thing. Just you can see here, this is packaging is jar, and then our Java version is 8. You can use war file as well, so it's up to you. So now let's keep all this thing. Then we have to add here dependency. Click here, and you can see we have many dependencies already showing here, right? These all are dependencies. So right now what we will use, simple one, that is a Spring Web. So once you will use a Spring Web, you can build web application including RESTful services and a Spring MVC as well. So our requirement is to only include a Spring Web. That means we wanted to create a RESTful service, and click here generate. So what will happen, it will download one zip file. We have to simply extract this zip file, extract here, and then you can see this is our project. Now let's go and open your Eclipse and click file, import, and then search here Maven. Inside Maven you have to click search existing Maven project. Click next. Now I'll import our project that I have downloaded right now. This is employee service. Just select this folder, click select, and then here you can see pom.xml is available. Add project to working set. That means you wanted to add this particular project in your current repository, current workspace or not. So you can tick here. That doesn't matter actually. Click here. Now click finish. So you can see here we have employee service, and in this employee service we have these all files. These are our Maven project. If you will expand this pom.xml, you can see here this is parent tag, and inside parent we have used a Spring Boot starter parent. This is the main dependency that we need to add, and after that, so if you will create manually, then you have to add these all things manually. So Java version is 1.8, dependency Spring Boot starter web, and then dependency that included automatically, that is Spring test, and then for JUnit vintage engine. And then for compilation purpose we have plugin, that is Spring Boot Maven plugin. So you can see here we don't need to download anything, any special thing, just we need to create the project using a start Spring IO, and you will get all these things. Now what we have to do next is select this project, right click, go to Maven and update this project. Click update, force update snapshot. Sometimes what happens, whenever you will update, it will not update with the latest one, so we have to take on this, click OK. So you can see it is updated project as per this, so it will download and copy all these files in your Maven dependencies. So if you will expand this particular file, you can see these all things is now available in your local. These all files downloaded. So what we need to do next is we can simply write our code. So if you can expand src main java, here you can see we have one class already created, com.employee.service, and then employee service. Here we have employee service API application. This is our entry point. So you can see here one annotation at @ Spring Boot. This annotation will basically is used to this is basically it will configure your Spring application and make available for all REST application, web application. Whenever we work with any Spring Boot application, then we need this one. So whenever we will see few more concepts related to Spring MVC, then we will see more things regarding that Spring Boot application. Right now what we will do, we will create a service. So I'm going to create one class. Let's say I can write com.employee.controller. So let's create one controller class, controller package, and inside controller package I can create one class, that is employee service controller. Okay, so we have one class employee service controller, and then what we can do, we can create one more class, one more package or class we can say. So we can create com.employee.model, and inside model we can create one model, that is employee. Okay, so in this particular model we will have one default constructor, public employee. Let's keep this default constructor. Then we can add few data members. So we can write private int imp id, private string name, and then private string country. Okay, so let's say we have these three fields, and what we have to do, we can generate getter setter, select all, insertion point will be last, so we can create getter setter. Then we can create default one more parameterized constructor here using fields, and the insertion point will be after this employee. So it doesn't matter, just the format that we need to keep all variables together, then we have to keep all constructor, and then we have normal methods getter and setter. You can also add two string if you want, so you can override this one, generate two string, and that will be the insertion point will be last member. So now we have created one model. Then let's create one we can say DAO layer. Okay, so in this model we can create employees. Okay, let's create DAO model. So we have here package com.employee.DAO. So here what we will write, we will write all DB related query. Basically we write, but what we will do here, employee DAO. So we will not do database coding, but what we will do, we can simply create here some static function, and using that function we can assign some data. So let's say if we have here some value, private static employee. Okay, so private static employees list equal to, so let's say we have new employees. So now we have not created this particular class, so we need to create this employees class, and in this class basically we will add. So we can create this employee class inside model. And what we will write inside this, okay, so in this employees class, we will create one list of EMP. Basically it will hold list of employees, and I can write here employee list. Okay, so this is one and we need to generate getter setter for this. So now we have this method getter and setter. So in this getter we have this list, and in setter we will set the list. So usually we can initialize this as well. Employee equal to new array list, and here we have employee. Else what will happen, whenever you will call this method, it will give you error. I mean it will return null. So we need to initialize that as well. So right now we have initialized this particular class employees, and let's get back to our DAO. So we have created one static field, that is employee for now, and what we will do, we can initialize this in a static block, and we can add some value here. So we will write list dot, simply I can write get list dot add, and here we can add employee. I can write new employee, and I can pass data. So let's say 100 is employee ID, and then Chandan is employee name, and then country is India. One field we have added here. Similarly I can add few more things. Okay, 100, 102, and then I can add some data here. So I can add, right, so let's say US, and then okay, so let's say we have these three fields available here. I mean in this particular object list we have this list, and then what we will do next is in this DAO we can create some function that will be exposed outside. So we will write public employees get employee, let's say get employee or get all employees, call this method get all employees, then what will happen? We need to return list, right? So this particular, whenever we will call this method, it will return all the list that we have created. Similarly, we can create one more method, that is public void add employee, and here we have to pass object of employee, and we can add this in list. So we can write list dot get employees list dot add, and here we can pass this emp. So we have created at least two methods. One is get all employees and another one is add employee. So far we have created model and then DAO, and now come back to this one. This is our controller. So here we will create the REST service. So now what we will do, here we have employee service controller. So once we make our controller in a Spring, then what we have to do, we have to use annotation, and that annotation is called @REST controller. So once you will use a Spring 4, then in a Spring 4 REST controller is introduced. So if you are working on REST web service, then you can use @REST controller, and if you will work on a Spring MVC, then you can use normal controller. So this is REST controller, and here we can change, or we can map @request mapping, and in this request mapping you can give the path. Okay, so simply I can write some path, that is, this will be by default this one, or once you will hit localhost 8080, then by default it will call this particular method. So let me add here employee service. So this will be our initial point. So we will write localhost 8080 and then employee service, then only our controller will invoke. And then what we will do, inside this we will create object of employee. We can write here private employee DAO, okay, and we can write employee DAO. So here if we can see, what we have, one option is we can create object here employee DAO equal to new employee DAO, right? This is one way to do that. But what we can do, we can use a Spring functionality to create objects. So we can simply write here @AutoWire. So AutoWire will, what will do? It will automatically create object. We don't need to create this here manually. So it will automatically create the object of this particular class. What we have to do, we can, as you can see, this is our DAO class. This is kind of repository, so we have to annotate here with @service or @repository. So we can add this repository. You can add @service as well, because service is also a kind of, let's say if you have created some interfaces and you want to expose that interface, then you can use service, else you can use normal repository as well. And here what will happen, it will automatically create the object of this particular class. Now what we will do next is we will create a method, which will be exposed outside. So we will write public employees get employees. So we have this method employees get employees, we have to return that. So what we will return, we can simply return employee DAO dot get all employees, right? right? This method it will invoke, and then we have to mark here this particular method with @get mapping. That means we wanted get request, and in this get mapping we can pass here. First is path. Now path equal to, I can write slash. So if you will reach to this particular service and you will press slash, that means automatically it will invoke get employees. And then what kind of data you wanted to return? So we have this one, produce. So in produce we can write, so in produce we can write application and then JSON. So we have one class available. Using that you can automatically import, but you don't need to remember this. But and also you don't need to write this. So by default it will be return. It will return JSON format only. But this is better to use or better to show that we need to always write produce. If this is get method, then we need to write produce. So now this particular method will work, and you will see the output. So before going to add the next method, we can check this whether this particular service is working or not. So now what we have to do next, so as I have just started this, let's see the output. So what I'll do, I'll open POSTMAN. Okay, so we can check from here that this is our entry point. So request controller, REST controller, and request mapping is /employee service. So this is our entry point. We have to write localhost 80 and then entry point, and then we have to write slash. Slash means this will directly call this particular method get mapping. So let's just send the request. We'll click send, and you can see output. So right now I'm getting employee not found. So that means 404. This service is not available. So what we have to do here, you can see this is a Spring Boot application. What will happen if you will keep all these classes in this package only? Let's say if you will keep all these classes in one package, in this package only, then you don't need to write anything. This particular program will run definitely. But if you have different packages, then you have to write one more annotations, that is called component scan. And in this component scan, what basically we have to write, equal to base package classes, and then we have to paste this. So component scan, and inside this we have to write base package classes. So we need to write here class name, employee service controller, and then employee DAO. So what will happen, it will, so here in this DAO, what basically we have done, we have written here @repository, and in controller we have used our auto wire, so that we don't need to create object manually, and object creation part will be handled by Spring itself. So now by writing this, what we have to do, we can again start our application. Right now application is started. Let's go here again and click send. So now you can see I'm getting 200, okay, and then we are also getting the data employee list, and inside employee list we have this list. That particular data we have added in now. So we have added these things in this particular class. So this value we are getting as in form of JSON data. So we have this service. Now let's create here in this particular controller, let's add another get method @ so I can write public employee, okay, get employee, and here I can write int. So we have here employee ID, so we can write int imp ID. So then we have to import this employee ID. What I have to do, and inside this we have to write logic, that is employee dow dot get employee, and here we have to pass imp ID, or I can say simply find employee. Now this particular method will find particular employee ID and it will return one employee. So we have to return this employee. But what will happen, we have to first write empl. Yes, we have to write this method inside that, and then what we'll do, we will annotate with @ get mapping, and here we have to take data in form of, so we can write path equal to, so we can write path employee and slash, here we can get data imp ID. So in this form we can take the data using path. But what we'll have to do, if you are passing any data with URL, then we have to write @ path variable. So we can use path variable, and inside path variable we can write so path variable, and this particular value you have to write here, and then this is our actual data. Now this particular thing will go here. We have to write this class, create this class, this method here. So we have a list. In this list we have added all employees. Now you have to write logic. So what we can do, we have all list here, so I can write for employee list, and here I can write we can write if e dot equals, or if e dot get employee ID equal to imp ID, then then return E, that means this particular object we can return. So yes, we have this one employee, and it should find employee and it will return that. So let's go back to our main controller. Here we can see employee. Let's run it again. Okay, so now we have this particular service, and after that we have to write here employee and slash. Let's say if I write 100, then it should return this particular object. So let's check. Right, so you can see I'm getting 100 employee, and if I write 101, then it should return this particular object. And in case of, let's say if I write something that is not found, then it will return null, and in this case we have to handle this here. So if we will not be able to find this, then we should return something from here. So as you can see, this is employee object, that means it will always return employee data. So we can create one empty, and then we can return that. From here, instead of returning her, we can write new employee. This object. So something like this you can return. If particular value is not matched, then it will return. It should return these things, but the ID and the baki and other things will be normally null. So we have created here. Now we can use post method. So let's say if we have some data, we wanted to add some data, then we can use public void add employee. So I can write here employee obj. So we should get employee object, and then what we will do, we will write here employee dot add employee, and here we can pass this object. We have already created add employee method inside this DAO. So add employee will take object and it will add into this list. So we have this object here. Now what we will do, we can make it as a service. So we have to write @postmap, and inside post mapping you can write here path we can create. Let's say add employee, and here what we can do, we can add employee, but this particular data we will get through request body. So we have to write annotation request body, and inside request body we will get this particular data, right? Now we have to mention one more thing here, that what kind of data we will get. So you have to write here consume. Okay, so we have consume, and then we can write media type dot application and JSON. So this particular data we application and JSON. So you can write this one manually, or you can use this one media class. But remember that this media class should be from org Spring Club. So basically we have to consume data in form of application JSON and what kind of data we wanted to return. So that is also will be application JSON. You wanted to write if you want to return media. So suppose here in case of this one get map, you can write here @produce. That means you wanted to produce media type dot application JSON. So this particular value it will return from here, from this service. Similarly, you can write with this one as well. But in case of post method, we are not returning anything right now. So simply we can write consume and it will add that. So let me just run this again. And here what we can do, we have service that is add employee. So right now if I'll press normally this one, this is, let's say click here, it will return these three objects. Let's type add employee, and then so this should be post method add employee. And then what we have to do, we will go inside so we have here header. Inside header we have to write content type equal to application JSON. So content type should be application JSON, and this means that we are sending, that means consume application JSON. They should be matched. So content type should be application JSON, and inside body what we will do, we will use raw type, and inside raw we have to pass data in this form. So I can write, so exactly same variable you have to use so that it will automatically set in that object. We can use imp id colon 104, then name, and then we have country. Okay, so country I can write Pakistan. So this particular object we wanted to send through add employee. Click send. Let's go back, and here you can see we are getting okay 200. That means this particular data should be added. So what we can do, we can use get employee, and let's check whether that particular data is available here or not. So now you can see we have or added this particular value, testing Pakistan. As we are not using right now database, so what will happen, it will store in this memory only. Once I restart this, then this data will be deleted. Similarly, you can add as many number of data you wanted to add. Also from here you can write, instead of 200 okay, you can return some specific data. So instead of writing only this one, what we can do, we have here one class response entity. So response entity we can return from it. So return new response entity with HTTP status. So HTTP status will be let's say created. We are doing right now post method, so we can return here created, and created means 201. So instead of 200, so from here you can see we are getting, so in this post method we got 200 means okay, that means we have successfully communicated with server. but ideally we should get 201. 201 is used for post method, that means created. So similarly, let's say if I go here, you can see we have many type of. So OK means 200 created, this is used for post method. 202 accepted, that means if you wanted to modify, that means whenever you will use post method, put method, then in that case we should use 202 accepted. That means whatever changes you wanted to do, that is accepted. So now let's see how this particular data will be reflected here. Save this. Let's go here and we can see. So first we have to post again. Inside post we have to add header, content type, body, this data. Let's click send. So now we can see here this is 201, that is created. Earlier we were showing here that is 200. Okay, but right now we are getting 201. And what will happen if I'll pass here some string value along with this? I have just casted it with a string just to resolve the issue. Warning issue. Still we are getting 201 created, right? That means this particular data should be available here, right? As I said, if I'll close this, that means this data will be deleted. So if you want to add more data, then you can go here and you can change. Let's say I write 203 testing 1 Nepal. Send it. Now let's go here, get method, click again. Now you can see we have now these two data available. So this is how it will work. Similarly, you can use put method if you want to update any particular resource, then you wanted to change some data. So suppose if the requirement is to change name, so you wanted to change name 102, right now it is, or let's say in 104 we have testing, you wanted to write some name, a specific name, then what you can do, you can create a method, let's say public void, or let's say this time I can write public response entity, public void update employee. Okay, and inside update employee, what we will do, so we will accept at least, we will basically accept two parameters. One is, that is, we will have employee object, okay, and another one will be our ID. So I can write here int temp ID. These two things will be needed. So right now we can do, we will get this value as a body, request body, and then this particular data we will get through path column. variable basically. So in path variable we can write this one. Here we'll write imp slash add employee, and then similarly we have to use slash update employee. If we will not use slash, that means it will directly invoke this one and then it will come back to this. So slash add slash update employee and then employee ID, and also along with we will get object through body. And then what we can see, we can write here consume media type equal to application JSON media type dot application JSON value, and we will produce this one also. So in case of produce, we are not producing anything. So what we can do, we will create employee DAO dot update employee, and here what we will put these two things. So we will put object and imp I. These two values we will put, and after that it will update, and then we can return it. Return response entity, and here we can write http status dot accepted. So it will accept that changes. So what we have to do, we can, instead of void we should write this. So right now new response entity. So this will be the new response entity, and what we will do, we will create this particular method inside DAO. So right now we have to, so what we will do, we will write this one, that means we will iterate loop and then we will update that. So let's say here we have this list E employee. So what we, if this is matched, that means employee data. So what we can do, we can let me try list dot employee dot add. So here we have index, and in this index basically we have to put this particular data inside this one. Object will be there. Now we have to find the index. So how we will do that? What we can do, let me just see list dot get employee dot index of. So if I'll put index of set employee, it will return list. fine, but what we have to do, so one thing what we can do, we can iterate one loop, okay, and using that loop, so we can write here for int I equal to 0, I is less than list dot get employees list dot size and then I plus plus, okay. And what I'll write here, we can create one ID, so int index equal to 0. Now what we will do, we will write here if list dot get employees dot get, and here we can write I dot get employee ID equal to empire. If this will match, that means we can write index equal to I. So now we have our index, and then we can simply break the loop, and after this for loop, what we can do, we can write list dot get employees dot add, and here we can write index and then object. So it should replace that particular object. Logic is not good, but we can do this. Okay, so we are finding the data based on this employee ID and then updating this particular data. So let's try, and we can try to modify that. Let's run it again. So our controller is update employee, so we have to use update employee. Let's go first post. Inside post, we can add employee with testing 1, send it. Now we'll use get. So you can see we have data. Imp ID 103 and testing 1. So let's update this 103. So we can write here. So basically we have to use put method, okay, and inside put we have to use update employee /103. We wanted to update this employee, but along with we have to pass one object as well. So we will go inside body, make sure we have to give this application, and then raw type, we'll paste it here, this data. Then we will just modify this with let's say Ajay. Okay, we wanted to change the name. So now let's click send, and we'll go here. You can see 202 accepted. That means if I'll perform get request again, then name should be changed. So you can see here. Okay, so problem here is it added a new here. Instead of update, it added new. That means this particular method, what this method did, we have to see. Okay, so and subsequent element to the right added in the, okay, so subsequent element will be shifted. So instead of add, we should use put. We have another method here, dot set. So we have set, so we can use this one. Instead of add, we can use set method. Let's close this and run it again. it's working. So what I'll do, we have to first add. So let's just click send. So this will add one data. We can click on get. So we can see here 103 and then testing. Now we will use put method. You can see we have all data available already here. We'll click here put. We have this value that we wanted to change to 103. Now click on get again. So in this case, yes, you can see 103 is Ajay. So if you want to change any value, then you can simply send a new request through put method. So put method will use to update particular data. So let's say if I'll use here so you can change this particular data as well. Just click get, send. So this particular value has been changed. Similarly, you can create another method, that is delete, and you can add one controller here, delete, and then what you can do, you can create here DAO, and in delete basically you take only imp id, and based on imp id you can simply remove that particular element. So you can write maybe list dot get employees dot remove, and here you have to pass this index. So you have to find that particular object's index, and then you can remove that, right?